Can you hear it? Welcome to Relay.
Here we go. Hello. Welcome to the show of Tired People for Tired People. I'm Tired.
And I'm tired.
This is my co-host, Tired. And today, we're going to talk about how tired we are.
There's another topic, too. Don't forget the other one.
What's the other one? Actually, I learned something incredibly interesting this week. That is, I think it sort of changes a bit about, how we should see the world. It won't, but it should. So a group of researchers were, watching orangutans. First off, it's orangutan, not orangutan. Weird Americans and orangutan. It's orangutan. Anyway, a group of researchers were, following some orangutans, and two orangutans got in a scuffle, and one of them got a wound under its right eye. And the researchers noticed that the orangutan was actually taking, plant leaves known to be medicinal to humans, chewing them up, and then using the paste that the orangutan had created by chewing it on the wound to to heal the wound and to staunch the pain and the possibility of infection of the wound. And orangutans use medicine.
Yep.
Animals use medicine.
Well, that particular animal, which is pretty closely related to us, yes.
It counts.
Yeah, I know. Orangutans, oh, of course it does. Orangutans are extremely smart. They are arguably the smartest of the great apes, aside from us, of course. But I did read that same article. It was really cool. So that plant is known as for pain relief. In humans, it's used for pain relief. And he was not only did the salve thing, but also that whole week was eating the leaves as well, which is not a plant that orangutans normally eat. So he was basically just self-medicating the whole week because he had the wound was nasty. Like, it was a big open wound in the middle of his face. And it healed in a week of him treating it. So it was pretty cool. It was a neat article. But they've been orangutans have been shown to do some pretty crazy things. There's a famous one where an orangutan was watching a guy spearfish in the river, and the guy came back the next day, and the orangutan was trying to spearfish with a sharpened stick in the river. It's like, hey, it worked for that guy. Try that out. I could do that.
That looks easy.
Yep. Yeah. Pretty cool. A lot of critters are a lot smarter than we give them credit for.
Yep. Crows, orangutans, the corvids, the apes, octopods.
I watched a video today on TikTok of this crab fisherman, and he brought up one of his crab traps, and big crab trap, like huge. And there was a massive octopus in there, had eaten all of his crabs. He just sort of sighed and picked the octopus up and put it overboard. Here you go. Head home, bud.
I mean,
they collected all the crabs for me. Jeez.
Well done, Octopod.
Yep.
That's like that's a buffet, is what that is.
Yeah, exactly.
Octopod found a crab buffet.
It's funny because they're so. Even huge ones. Anyway, he was massive. Like, it was a big octopus. Even ones that big, they can fit through basically any space there is. So no problem just climbing into the trap. You know. But yeah, very interesting. The more we learn about animal intelligence, there's a lot of
Yep.
very smart creatures out there.
Yep. Now we gotta just.
So apparently, our second topic this week is the intelligence of animals. On top of how
Yes.
tired we are.
Tiredness and the intelligence of animals.
Yep. That's it.
Did we have? Yeah, that was it. Did we have a third topic, or are we done?
There's this like SC after our name. What does that mean?
I have no clue.
Is it like Stormcrow or
Society of Curmudgeons?
Oh, is it Stanley Cup? Are we a hockey podcast?
I think so. I haven't watched any of it. I heard that Toronto's playing
Game 7
Toronto and
tonight.
Boston Game 7. Wonder how that's going. I'll root for Toronto. I'll root for any Canadian team.
Aren't you a really bad Senators fan if you root for Toronto?
But I'm not a Senators fan. I'm a Kraken fan.
I know.
There are no Senators fans.
Good point.
Hello to anyone out there watching us. Hope you've had good weeks. Yeah. I hope the water is flowing freely and crisply, and the sun is warming your toesies, and the birds are chirping prettily in the trees.
Anyway, I'm pretty sure that SC actually stands for Star Citizen.
Right, Star Citizen.
I just remembered.
That's good. I guess we could talk about some Star Citizen.
Yeah. There's a few interesting things happening soon. 323 is continuing its inevitable march to release. Getting closer every day. I think their goal is to make sure it's up by Invictus. But
probably next week.
Probably Invictus, and we just look this up. Invictus starts May 17th. 13 days.
Yep.
Invictus launch week has go ahead.
I haven't watched anyone play any 323.
No, you gotta keep it all as a surprise for yourself.
Yeah. But I'm excited to dust off my joystick and figure out how to do bindings once again, and
yeah, someday they gotta fix that problem. I mean, I know there's other problems they're trying to fix, like server meshing and the game engine, but eventually they got to come around to key bindings. By the way, folks, we were talking briefly about Manor Lords before we went live, and I wanted to mention to David, because I know this will be make him happy. Fairly recently, the previously solo dev for that game brought on some extra programmers to help. One of the things that they were helping with was making sure that the game would be able to launch on its multiple platforms without, blowing a gasket. And then the next thing that they're apparently moving on to is a port to UE5.
Yep.
So they're moving the game to UE5.
I was wondering when that would happen, because lots of games that have been made in UE4 have been ported into UE5. It seems like a really, really good idea. UE5 honestly just seems like an absolute boon to most game development, which is great. So,
yeah.
Absolutely. Plus, I have a feeling that the dev for Manor Lords could just reach out to Epic and get whatever help they need at this point.
Probably.
Given that it was the most wish-listed game on Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that was kind of yeah, it was it's a big deal, that game. They're what was I gonna say? I think that was another part of it too. Like, I think that having brought on, because as a solo dev, he can't, especially now the game's out, he needs to start pushing out like more gameplay stuff.
Yeah.
He can't take like 6 months to do the UE4 to UE5 port himself. So it's good that he brought on some extra programmers to help. And yeah, the new programmers he brought on can reach out to Epic and be like, "Hey, can you help us do this port of this extremely popular game to your new engine?"
Yeah, and I mean, I think he's got the money now to do it.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. There is one other piece of big news that I want to talk about this week, just because it particularly bothers me.
Oh dear.
Helldivers 2.
Oh, that pissed me off too. And I don't even play that fucking game.
Yeah. So Helldivers 2 launched, was having lots of issues, but
extremely popular though.
Extremely popular. It's the 7th best-selling Sony game ever.
Yep.
It's behind the 3 Spider-Mans, the 2 God of Wars, and Ghost of Tsushima. So it's ahead of all of the Final Fantasies, which is
ridiculous,
insane. Anyway, Sony have gone and required, just announced a complete change to the way the game worked, and now if you've got it on Steam, you must link a Sony account, which for people in 96 countries in the world, they legally can't, because they cannot create Sony accounts, because Sony doesn't let you create accounts in 96 countries of the world. And there are some countries as well, like Ukraine, where yes, you can create a Sony account, but only if you have a PS5. If you don't have a PS4 or PS5, you can't create the account. So like, and this is like months after it came out. And
that's the thing. That's the important piece of information. And this is a game that's out on PC, right? It's out on Steam. A lot of people who have this game have no fucking idea what the hell a PSN account is and don't want one.
And the thing that people have caught Sony doing now is they have Sony have their FAQ website, and one of the things it says on it is, or it used to say, it is optional to create a PSN account to play the games, and they have changed it in English. They haven't actually done the change in other languages yet, but they changed it retroactively in English to say you must have a PSN account.
In some games.
In some games. Anyway, like, Sony are trying to rack in on this stupid number of people that are playing Helldivers on PC, because they want to get that sweet data.
They want to harvest the people's biographic data. Yep.
But all they have to do, they've done this, and within one day, Helldivers, who are, by the way, the entire game is about the entire game is about the entire community banding together to create, to complete objectives. Anyway, within one day, over 100,000 negative reviews. It has tanked the game from overwhelmingly positive down to, I think, mostly negative right now.
Recent reviews are mostly negative, but it went all the way from overwhelmingly positive down to mixed, which is 58%.
Yeah.
And the recent reviews are 23%.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Which is how do you if I were Arrowhead, who are the developers of the game, I would be pissed at Sony for forcing them to do this. Two, do you know what Sony could have done to have avoided this entire thing? Hey, if you link your PlayStation account, you get an extra weapon, some new armor. You get like
No, they wanted all of the biographical data, not some of it.
yeah, but everyone who could make a PSN account would do that because the game's all about collecting armor and guns, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then you don't lose
Your entire player base.
Your entire player base. Anyway, lots of people are refunding it. Seems like Steam's actually doing a really good job of allowing the refunds. People are saying that Sony retroactively changed the terms of agreement, and they want a refund, and Steam is doing it. So,
yep.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought this was all kind of interesting. It doesn't really relate to Star Citizen at all, but it's something that's I've been watching and has really bothered me
it's
this week.
Pretty stupid. I it's such a self-own, like it whenever a company does this, it just pisses me off because it's so obvious that like nobody who's actually involved in the game made this decision at all. It was some upper level person at Sony going, "Oh, there's 2 million people playing that game. I want all of their data."
Yep.
With no like actual thought into like what that might do to the game, which is probably kill it.
Yep. It's going to be interesting to see.
I'm not talking about like, hey, you need a PSN account so the game is dead. It's when you go to the game's page, it has a 58% rating now.
Yep.
No one's going to buy that.
Yep. You've
it's
shot
the first thing
future.
People look at.
Yeah, they've shot future, and it's which it's really unfortunate because it's
fast forward to like 2 years from now, and that studio is going to close because Sony is like, hey,
yep,
we decided that we want to shoot ourselves in the face.
I find it absolutely hilarious because publishers have been searching for the formula for a live service game for a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And Arrowhead nailed it. Like bullseye. They have Helldivers is how you do a live service game. It is perfection for the live service part. And it's really unfortunate because the one time someone actually gets it right, it's dead anyway because of the stupid publisher. Because friggin' Snoy.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah, it is frustrating. Oh, there's some other thing I want to talk about.
Don't worry, we will get to Star Citizen eventually. I promise.
We will, promise. There it is. We will be. There is a upcoming Xbox Games Showcase on June 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, which is a Sunday, if I'm remembering correctly. And we do plan to cover that.
Hopefully.
Of course.
I'm gonna say hopefully because as I was discussing with you earlier, I might be sent on my first work trip.
Oh, right at the same time.
It's the conference is the 3rd to the 5th. I'd be there from the 2nd to the 8th. So I think I'd be getting back on the 9th.
You're fine. You just fly in early and then jump directly onto this thing that lasts hours long.
Hopefully we'll be doing it. I don't know if I'm being sent to the EU or not yet. There's a conference in Antwerp that I've been invited to attend and speak at, and I'm trying to find out if my work will let me. So.
That would be pretty cool.
Because they want me to speak with my expert knowledge on sustainability. Just weird. Just
Imposter syndrome, go!
It's horrible because I've presented to this group before, and it's like, here's my presentation, and then and we go to comments, and it's like people start introducing them in their comments, and they're like, yeah, I've been a doctor of sustainable practices. I've got my doctorate. I've been doing this for 18 years, and I really liked your presentation. And I'm like,
I'm David.
I've done this for 3 years. Thanks. I'm gonna hide under a rock now. Anyway. Oh,
I understand.
nobody in chat has said a word. I'm feeling sad, lonely. So lonely. But hello everyone.
That's okay.
We are now at our 20-minute mark, which is about when we start talking about Star Citizen. So let's do it. Let's start talking about Star Citizen.
Sounds good.
Oh. God. Okay, let's go over to the stuff we got. Here we go. So this week was just an update on honestly everything we already know. They're doing an update on what's coming in 323, but hey, 323 is it's going to be big.
A big one, massive one. Character creator.
Right.
Amazing. One of the best character creators I've ever seen. At least for facial stuff. Oh
yeah,
man.
I'm excited for them to, because they showed it off at I think CitizenCon last year, but like to expand to the tattoos and stuff. Like,
hey Harold, thank you.
Thank you, Harold. I definitely feel less lonely. It's sometimes it's good to know that we're not okay. No, it's good to know that while we are yelling into the void, sometimes the void is listening.
That's actually really creepy in some ways.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Oh. It's like when you shout hello into like an empty house because you're just nervous and you're like, I really hope nobody responds. The hello?
Hello? Yeah. Be like, okay, what was that noise? Hello?
Yeah,
and you're like, do I want no one to answer and then I have to go check, or do I want someone to answer and then I die of a heart attack?
Yeah, pretty much. Those are your options.
Yeah. So the thing that excites me most about the character creator has to be the ability to save
the
character, because I've never spent time customizing my character, because it's always been like, it's going to be gone in a couple weeks. Why would I actually spend an amount of time if I'm just gonna disappear? So being able to like put time and save it and forget where I've saved it to and lose it just like I lost my key bindings, really excited for that.
Yeah, sounds about right. You know what you should do is create a folder in your desktop that says, hey David, this is where you put your character.
Do you know how many folders like that I've got? Because that's what I do every time. I'm like, this is the folder.
1,000.
This is the folder for this thing. This is the folder for this thing. I don't know. And then I just wipe it all and start new, and I'm like, fuck it. I have decided, actually. Again, completely off topic, but I'm tired and rambling. And I've been given permission by Cass. I'm building a new PC next year.
Ooh. Excellent.
Yeah. It's time for a new build next year. In a year, it's time for a new build, but...
Excellent. I like it. I like it very much.
I'm
probably going to do something fairly soon too. Like in the next year. As it always does, the luster of having my PC in my desk has worn off.
Yeah.
It's just too much of a pain in the ass. Took like literally 7 years to wear off, but it's happened.
Hey there, the Rigsby.
Hey, Rigsby.
The funny thing is, I loved my PC on the wall, and then I put it into a case, and having it in a case has worn off on me. I want something special again, but I don't want to do a wall build because it was just
one of the things I'll recommend to you is that no matter what you do, and this is not the desk PC wasn't the problem. It was that when we designed the way it'd have to lay out, there was no access to the I/O at all. I do have no access to the I/O from my computer at all without taking my desk apart.
That's not great.
So, whatever you decide to do, make sure you have access to the back panel.
Well, I've already again this one because this one was on a wall. It was also a micro ATX.
Yeah,
and I've never had enough I/O. I've never had enough USB ports because it only had
You want to go to a full ATX board?
I don't need yeah.
I mean an ATX board.
Yeah, ATX. Sorry, not the
micro ATX.
Not the EATX or the huge one.
Huge, yeah.
I did a build with that once. Never again. Also, hey Tip, how's it going? Anyway, so next year I'm building a new PC, and I'm excited.
Hey Tip,
I'm ecstatic.
That's awesome. What do you think? What are you thinking for a GPU? What direction are you going?
NVIDIA.
Yeah, I figured.
I'm sorry. I love DLSS. It's better than FSR. The stuff that they're doing with frame generation sounds phenomenal.
I'm not bought on. I haven't bought into frame gen yet. There's too many weird issues with it.
There are, but it's always in the second gen that they sort those issues out.
Yeah, no. I mean, FSR is frame gen too.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see where AMD's at in a year. I will be going.
Yeah, I think that's the big question. I'm curious what the next generation looks like because Nvidia has made a lot of noise about just possibly bailing entirely on gaming. So
I know
because they make way more money elsewhere.
AI.
Yeah,
it's AI.
Yeah, every gaming chip that they sell is an AI chip they couldn't sell. So yeah. AI is the worst. Wondering if it may end up just being AMD and Intel again in a different market.
Yeah. Until AI loses its luster, which it will.
Nope,
it will.
Not going to happen.
Yeah. It's going to.
How would it lose its luster? Almost every business has now integrated AI into what they're doing.
They have. Only lots of them are finding out that it's not
very
great.
Good. I know.
And the thing is, businesses are jumping to integrate AI, firing workforce, then realizing, oh shit, we actually needed those human people, and AI doesn't save us money.
Yeah. That is true.
It's a tool. It is useful, but it is not the panacea that people are using it as. And as soon as people realize that, it's going to lose its luster.
I think the game changer for LLMs is going to be reducing or vastly reducing its computational cost.
Yeah,
because it just takes too much power to do it right now.
Well, and the thing that people
needs to get easier to do.
The thing that people aren't talking about, and the thing that people should be talking about, is AI actually has an incredibly large environmental footprint.
Yeah, it's the same as crypto mining. Same deal.
Yeah.
You're using huge GPUs and outputting an enormous amount of heat using a ton of power to do this work.
We've talked about for a couple of years now how bad crypto is for the environment, and people are stopping doing crypto in some cases because of how bad it is and because there's no fucking point to crypto. It's garbage. And I think the same thing needs to happen for AI. Like the environment should matter more than saving $20 on being able to fire your workforce. And also, having people that can spend money because anyway, could go on a whole thing about AI.
So,
but
how about them mini maps and visor updates and Mobi-Glass updates and map updates and what else? There's many more.
The hardest thing for me about this patch is figuring out which thing in the patch I'm most excited for.
I think I got it for myself. And it doesn't make sense.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, but the Rigsby, who's on 1080p anymore? 1440 ultra wide or bust.
Fair enough. I'm curious to see what the next generation looks like, because I think there will be another GPU generation before your computer.
Yeah, there's going to be the 5000 series this year. But I don't think there will be a 6000 series when I go to make my.
Oh no!
It's going to be the 5s.
And AMD will have 8000 series GPUs probably.
Yeah. I don't think it can be understated how much the mini map and the Mobi-Glass will change how people play Star Citizen, because one of the big problems, especially for new players, has been where the hell do I go? It's a large game, and it was really hard to figure out where you are and where you're supposed to go. Really excited for the Mobi-Glass updates.
Yep, my number one thing as one single feature, because it is one single feature, is the map. Encompassing the whole thing from mini maps to star map to the whole, location maps, everything.
Yeah.
It's a huge upgrade in experience for the players.
Yeah. How's it been, the Rigsby with Vulkan? I'm excited to test out Vulkan. I'm also really excited to test out their frame generation that they're putting in. I'll probably stick to DLSS rather than their
I think the Homebird one is. I think their in-house one is the best performing right now.
Oh, is it?
That's what I'll
have to compare them.
I would. I mean, that's the thing. You can. Well, I mean, you're on. No, actually, FSR is open, so you could actually probably run all three of them.
I can try all three.
You can just see which one works the best for you.
That's the one reason I want to go AMD, is I want to support AMD because they put everything open, because that's the way things should be. But I also really like NVIDIA, and I've had a good time with them.
Yep, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know. What's everyone else excited for of the, well, I guess we got to go to the next video, but
laundry list of features.
The laundry list, the veritable.
It's hard not to be super excited about the character creator too. It's so good. And I'm definitely an inordinate amount of time in the character creator.
Also, all of the changes to being able to set your preferred default for interactions. Yes. Updated shopping that doesn't suck anymore. Yes. FPS looting. I am going to run so many bloody bunkers.
They will be very bloody. There'll be blood everywhere.
Yeah, and I cannot wait. I don't really like the idea of the crosshair, like the third person crosshair. Because I don't generally like third-person crosshairs in a first-person. Like, I don't like crosshairs when you're not aiming down sights in a first-person game.
Yep.
But
Well,
as long as it's tied in, like, and I think they'll probably have to expand on this in the future, but as long as it's like only certain helmets that have the functionality, I'm fine with it. But again, and this is something I don't know if they've done this well or not yet. Balancing the armor.
probably not. I don't think that that's the thing that they've bothered to try much.
They're gonna have to figure out how to balance the light versus medium versus heavy sort of stuff. And I know they're not going with this or at least I think they're not going with this anymore. But I still remember one of their first plans for it was only heavy armor could carry heavy weapons, of which sniper rifles were considered heavy weapons, which just I got very angry at that, 8 years ago. Eric, okay, you're not frozen. You look frozen.
I don't think that is currently the case. Yeah, I've used a sniper rifle, and I definitely never wear heavy armor. So
no, it's like they changed that, which is good because it was dumb. But
yeah, especially because most of the time that it's usually scouts in games that are using sniper rifles.
Mm-hmm. But to me, that crosshair, that should be on a heavy helmet because, but also the heavy helmet's slower and
it makes sense if you're using an LMG, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tip says, I think this year is going to be rough. CIG have openly stated that they're trying to push patches early so that they can get testing done, which has annoyed some people. But personally, I think fast and sloppy is better than slow and still buggy anyway. So, I mean, Tip, you know this, but the problem is that it doesn't matter what CIG do, it will annoy some people.
Yep.
No matter what they do, some people are they're going to launch Squadron 42 and some people are going to be annoyed.
Yeah, they're going to be annoyed because there's not as much focus on Star Citizen for a couple weeks.
Yeah. Anything they do, some people will get annoyed. I think their patching system is working really well. I don't have the the stamina, I want to say, to do the testing and try and get into early waves of EPTU. But I'm glad that the option is there for people that do, because there are people that love it and play nothing but Star Citizen all the time. And you know what? Good on them.
I'm really glad they exist.
Yep.
Somebody needs to be helping to test this bloody game.
As long as when patches go live for the rest of people, CIG rebalance some of their stuff based on, normal humans rather than.
I honestly don't think that they get that distracted by Evocati.
I don't think they do either, but
I think that it does a very, very good job of highlighting bugs and things that are really broken.
Yep. It's
8,000 hours. Jesus, you should get an honorary payroll position at CIG for having played that much.
Well, I mean,
we're just going to start paying you as a QA tester now.
Some people do get paid to play that much, right? Through Twitch, they've got enough of a.
But not by CIG. But yes.
They probably make more money from Twitch.
That is a good point.
Right?
But Yeah, that's amazing. 8,000 hours.
I like early access. I think early
yeah,
access is almost always a
Yeah.
good idea for video games.
Look what happened to
I
Baldur's
think that-
Gate. Oh my god.
Yep.
What a great game.
I will often buy games in early access. Like Hades 2 is going to be going to early access. I will be buying that. Day one, it hits early access, no questions. Am I going to play it in early access? No. I'm going to give them my money to show that I support, and then I'm going to wait for it to launch. But there are people that will play it, and those people will, give great feedback that the dev otherwise wouldn't get, and allow them to fix things that, like, one of the big problems with, like, a lot of AAA games nowadays, like the EAs, the Ubisofts, etc., there's a lot of problems with those games that honestly would have been fixed with a little bit of early access.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Tons of them. I really wish that EA believed in early access at all, because God, their games are just a mess these days.
Some of them. Depends on the
name
group of
name an EA that has come out without problems in the last 5 years.
It Takes Two.
Hey, you found one. Awesome.
Didn't even have to try hard.
Congratulations. Yeah, I suspect that EA had very little to do with that.
Yep.
They're probably like, "Oh, it's this cute little game. We almost forgot they existed." Honestly.
Oh wait, it's Game of the Year.
Yeah, because we paid no attention to it.
Yep.
And yes, Star Citizen players are patient to an insane degree. It's been 12 years for some people.
Hey, we've been doing this 10 years.
Yep,
just about.
9.5. But
9.5. We're getting there. I mean, at 9.5, I think we can say we've been doing this. Well, I guess no, because we want to have like a special event for our 10-year. We're gonna do a 10-year.
Is that when we go live on stream and we're just asleep?
What are we gonna do for our 10-year anniversary stream?
I have no idea.
We got
7 months. We have 7 months to figure it out.
Yeah, we got to get Jake to make an appearance. We got to see if we can get like Disco,
Dolvac,
some other streamers, Astro. Fuck. I hate names. Griffin, thank you. Yes. Griff, get Fast Card on.
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh, God.
The whole crew.
God. What a.
To put this into perspective for you folks watching, you probably all know this, most of the people who are watching, but when we started this whole thing, David hadn't met his fiance yet. They have now been together for a million years and have 2 kids.
8 years.
Yeah, 8 years. So yeah, whole families have happened in the time that we've been doing this.
Oh yeah. Improvements to EVA.
Yeah, that's cool. It's so cool. It's so pretty. I can't wait to play
that clip right there. Is to me the most important part of the improvements to EVA is the better transitions between between gravity and non-gravity, because like coming into gravity and falling on your face and that's always sucked. It has always sucked. So
this reminded me of the 400 times it's happened to me.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that to not happen anymore. Like, that sounds great. How do I sign up? Um, yeah,
That's so cool.
I'm really excited for that because it.
Oh, and all the new precision targeting and weapon mount stuff too, where you can
Yes.
like zoom in on a specific area of the ship, and
Mhm.
oh man. Oh, and of course, freaking oh, I don't even remember what it's called. Come on, brain. The new flying mode that is like
Master
totally
modes.
different. Thank you, master modes.
Yeah. And
The time has come for
birds.
master modes.
Birds.
They're so pretty
Fauna.
too. I saw some people's screenshots of them in game, and they look and even videos of them in game. They look amazing.
Oh man. I'm really happy that there's fauna. It's been
Yeah,
so long that we've been waiting
and
for fauna.
and they look really good. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh man, okay. Now you just need another 4,000 species. Go.
Yeah. Well, so precision and I want to talk about precision targeting for a second because precision targeting, I think at least, won't mean very much to single pilots. There's going to be too much going on for you really to do too much precision targeting. At least me, because I suck.
Depends on the situation.
Yeah. But I think it's going to be huge for multi-crew when you'll be able to, like,
yeah.
as a turret gunner, focus in on what you're, and that is your only focus. Yeah. I'm Rigsby. That's what I've heard everyone say is that this patch is just gold, and I'm happy. I'm really really happy. Replication layer.
Oh man, this one's really hard to quantify because it's not like a thing in the game. It's the way the whole thing in the back end works. So, for the uninitiated, it will now work that you will connect to the replication layer instead of to the game server. The replication layer basically saves the game state across all game servers. And then when a game server goes down, it can transition you to another game server in the exact same game state you were in before without leaving you crashing out of the game. Huge.
The thing about this one is, like, everything else is, oh, this is really cool for Star Citizen. Replication layer is insane for any game. Like, every multiplayer game should have this tech.
Mm-hmm. And some of them do, but
Yeah.
like it's a big deal. And honestly, and we all know this, but it is an absolutely required piece, one of many we've had along the way, to server meshing, which is the next step.
Yeah.
We have replication layer. The next step is for them to put an actual mesh in the game with 4.0.
I've also heard anecdotally that AI is running a lot better in EP2 right now.
Good.
Bunker missions can actually be difficult, which I'm really excited about.
Damn it, they can aim now.
Good. I want to get shot back at, not just walk through and kill everything without it moving. Like,
I will never forget trying to do that mission in Pyro. Holy shit, in the PT or the EPT or whatever it was. Oh man.
Also the clouds
I got
and the water.
mowed down. It's so funny too because the clouds for so long were like they're really cool, but they have this really obvious rendering bug to them. And now they're just really cool. Straight up. The clouds look amazing.
Yeah. And the water tech is just great. It's just great.
And it's one of those things they didn't have to do, but it makes the game way more immersive.
Yeah.
It's a cool factor thing.
And it's funny actually because it's something that you'll almost never see yourself.
Not very often.
Because you don't, like, people don't normally fly in third person because you don't have any of your HUD or anything, right? but it's going to make for really good videos and really good content creation. And like
and when
it's
when you do see it, you're gonna be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, it's all good. So what do we got next? Right. So let's talk about the new I don't CIG says it's a new ship. I don't count ground vehicles as ships. There's
Fair
a
enough.
new vehicle.
Agreed.
So, Eric, what are your thoughts on the Mirai Pulse? And everyone in chat, throw us your thoughts as well. But Eric, go ahead.
This one's a funny one for me. I'm usually pretty positive about most ships. And I do like the base model Pulse. It's pretty cool. I really like the red. I really like the laser Gatling gun on the front. I do not like the racer. Something about the front end of it bothers me a lot. Nope. Not a ship I would like to have, or a vehicle I would like to have. But the base model is pretty awesome. I love how tiny it is. You can, as they show later in this video, take it into bunkers. It has a laser Gatling gun on the front of it. And it fits in almost every ship in the entire game. And it almost fits in a size 2 cargo container, 2 SCU container.
If the Rigsby, if that's awesome, actually. Because one of the things they've been talking about is how there have to be reasons to take these smaller vehicles. And yeah, if you land further away and take one in and you're not detected by turrets, that's great. Like, that's a reason to take one, which is fantastic. I actually really like them. I think they might be one of my favorite of the... I think they are my favorite of the motorbike style vehicles. Both of them. I actually prefer the racer a little bit over the regular one. I think the gun is a little bit too long. I feel like it should be canted a little bit under the ship.
It's so funny because the thing that it bothers me about the racer, I think, is because it's so stubby that there's like nothing at the front of it at all.
Oh, yeah.
So funny.
I love how they fit all the components away. This is a thing of beauty, what they've done. Like, genuinely, I love it. It's not up on the site yet. We don't know how much it's going to cost. I'm probably going to get one.
The Rigsby says the Tumbro Flintstone log bike.
I mean,
oh man,
I love it.
Yep.
You know, I'd actually be really interested to see if you could open the doors of an Aurora, use a grappling thing to put it sideways through, and then not close the doors, fly in a space suit, and keep it in your Aurora. Because that, you should be able to do that.
They do have a video of it. There is a clip of it in the Aurora.
Is it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. North End, they showed some concept art where you lean when it was turning, but I don't know if that's in-game. We'll have to see. I don't know. I think
the Ranger. I think the Ranger is my favorite bike. I really like it, and it's not a hover bike.
I'm not thinking of it right now.
It's a Tumbrel Ranger.
Yeah, I just don't know what it looks like right now.
I will link it in our chat.
Oh yeah, that one. I prefer this.
Fair enough.
To that. I think that one's a bit too heavy and too like industrial.
But you put cargo boxes on its ass.
I love that. But I like that this one's so tiny.
No, it is. It's a big deal that it is that small, for sure.
Like, You know,
Has a lot of gameplay implications.
as it
Here's
does,
the video of
including
mowing down.
going into a. I love that. Like my midlife crisis car that I want, because the okay, the true midlife crisis car that I want is not a car I can get. So, the midlife crisis car that I want is a Mazda Miata. It's tiny, it's cute.
I used to know a guy who drove one. He loved it.
I like that.
They're very, very little though. Very,
yes.
very little.
Yeah. My favorite car, possibly of all time, is it's the Fiat Spider, the Fiat 124 Spider. I want one. I will never be able to get one, but I want one.
Why do you want one?
Because my uncle has one.
Oh, I see.
I love that car.
How much are they?
I don't even know. I have no idea.
Let's see if there's one on autotrader.ca. Hey, there you go. There's a
30 grand.
2017 for with 40,000.
I don't want the 2017. I want the old version, the 1981. Okay. Ooh,
there's a 1981 Fiat Spider for 13 grand. There you go. That could be somebody's wedding present to you. There you go.
With 140,000 kilometers on it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's in amazing shape.
Yep. Anyway, I'm
looking for a vehicle right now. Maybe I should get the Fiat Spider.
I like tiny little cute cars, so I like tiny little cute bikes as well. It makes me happy that it's the smallest vehicle that they have built.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just makes me
absolutely
happy.
I want a base model one. I hope they're cheap.
Yeah, I will probably get a base model one.
Because you want the Gatling gun?
Or
because you just don't care to race?
Just because I don't care to race.
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
actually don't. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna have to see. I might get the racing one just because I don't care about a weapon on it. I don't really like the Gatling gun.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Shady, I think this is going to sell really, really well because it fits in everything. It's cute. It's useful. It fits in everything. The only downside is there's no cargo on it.
Which there shouldn't be. If it's that small?
There shouldn't be. Oh, no, there shouldn't be, but that's its only down. You can't.
Yep.
There's the concept art of it, banking in a turn. Yeah. I like it.
Yep. It's good. I don't like the racing one, but I do really like the base model, so thumbs up.
Okay, where am I? I think we had one more video. Invictus. Thanks as always, by the way, to Haramis for gifting all of these videos for us. Haramis is awesome.
Yep. I do think it's really funny that the sorry, go ahead.
Go. It's all you. Go.
I just thought it was funny that a few people saw the Polaris fly over in this video and went, "The Polaris is flyable. We're gonna get the Polaris flyable in Invictus," and it's like, no. The outside of the Polaris is done.
Yeah. I like that the captain there is drinking his tea with his pinky out.
As you should.
As you should.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, I think the Polaris is going to be in Invictus Week, but it's going to do flybys. It's not going to be
Yeah.
not going to be done on the inside.
No. Now,
those capital ships take a long time to make.
So we're getting the Mirai Pulse straight to flyable for Invictus. Yep. But it's also Invictus.
Mm-hmm.
So what concept ship are we getting?
I think Jared said it at the beginning. That sounds like there's at least one other ship. I can't remember how many he said, but
so like we're getting the straight to flyable, and then we're going to be getting something else. At least
I'm going to call. So here's what's going to happen. Robert Space Industries is going to get together with Aegis, and they're going to miniaturize the Bengal carrier. It's going to be like the size of a constellation.
Okay.
And
right.
It'll still be a carrier, but you can only carry one ship.
You know, that reminded me of something that Jared promised us.
They'll call it the like serval or something, a tiny little wildcat.
At one point, Jared told us that we'd be getting like flyable drones of the ships that we could fly around in our hangar, and I still want that.
Yeah, Jared, what the hell? Give.
I mean, North End, you might be right. The Anvil ship from the CitizenCon video. It's Invictus though. Like we're gonna be getting a combat ship of some sort.
Hey, there's actually a pretty good point. Get it? Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
To feed off of the comments of LSP and Jade from previous episodes. So we have an Invictus week. Where's the like science and research week?
That's a really good point, actually. Do you know why it's probably not there? Is because they don't have anything for science and
exactly.
But maybe we'll get that.
I wish it was there. That'd be cool.
Maybe we'll get it once they are there.
This ship is great at studying comet.
An innovation week, right?
That would be cool. I like that idea.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be innovation in science, but it can be in science, medical, transport, like just innovation
mining
week. Yeah. I would really like another like bomber/torpedo ship. I feel like we don't have many.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
There's a lot of light, medium, and heavy fighters, but for like larger like bombers, there's the Gladiator, there's the Tally, one of the Vanguards.
There's the A2? It's a huge bomber.
The variant of the A2.
And yes, the Vanguard Harbinger.
Yeah, but that's 4.
Yep. And then some of the cap ships have like serious
but I'm not counting. Yes, the Eclipse. Thank you, Shady. I love the Eclipse.
Yeah, the Eclipse is terrifying. I love it.
I'm just saying that there aren't as many of those as there are of like straight combat ships.
I'm all in if you have some ship with a gigantic. This ship, you know what they need? They need a an Ares version that just has a torpedo, just one torpedo, but it's fucking huge, just massive. Yep. Like there used to be planes in World War II that were like that. They only had one bomb, but it was
even an Ares. No. The Buccaneer. The Buccaneer with no weapons, just a massive torpedo underneath.
the flying shit can that has one
Yeah.
torpedo.
Just one bloody
like it.
torpedo on the bottom.
That would be a very Drake thing to do. So I have to agree with you.
doesn't that scream Drake?
It's like
got
a
a
size
problem?
7 torpedo. No other weapons.
You've got one
them.
problem. We've got one solution.
Yeah. Just fire and then hope you can get back to base. Oh man. Test Squadron buys all of them. Oh shit.
Oh.
That's funny.
I would
man.
genuinely love that. Like,
I'm looking forward to Invictus. It should be fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to all the stuff that's coming. There's a lot of cool stuff coming soon.
well, I'm more looking. I guess I can stop having this play on repeat. I think the thing that has me most excited about 323 now is that once 323 is out, like,
here comes Pyro.
we're gonna start hearing about 324 or 4.0, whatever it ends up being. But like, I'm excited to see what comes.
Even this week, they're calling it 4.0, so I think that's what they're.
I know. With. I'm like, if this is what 323 is, and 323 is massive, but it's still 323. What are they going to do for 4? You know?
Pyro. Honestly, the only thing they really need to do is Pyro and server meshing. That's it.
that even just that
huge
is like
patch.
I think we're going to get it at or before CitizenCon.
I don't think it's going to slip past CitizenCon.
No. I think we're going to have it before CitizenCon.
Especially with how successful the early server meshing tests were.
Yeah. Yeah, the early server meshing tests went way better, I think, than anyone expected, honestly.
Yeah.
They ended up getting like hundreds and hundreds of people on a single shard, right?
Yep. We'll see. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of things that could delay a 4.0 launch. Mostly technical, but I'm optimistic because that's more fun for me.
Yeah, I like to be optimistic. Yeah, but like,
yeah, that was the one big issue.
But if that's their big issue, like, honestly, that's a database problem that they gotta solve. Like, that is not that compared to what they're doing. That is a small problem, honestly. Like, that
wasn't the problem that I like. There's so many other things that could have been a problem. Like, you try to go between servers and your ship blows up, or you try to go between servers and your player dies, or you try to go between servers and the game crashes. You know, yeah. I think that I still think that they can get it out before mid-October. Probably.
I think so too.
It's going to have a shit ton of content in it as well.
I mean,
that might be the only thing.
We're 6 months away from CitizenCon.
Not quite, but yeah, 5.5.
June, July, August, September. 5 months. Well, no, because we're still beginning of May. So May, June, July, August, September. We're all 6 months away.
It's 5.5 months.
It's which is close
almost
enough to 6.
Almost to the day, actually. Almost to the day. It's 5.5 months.
6 months. That's a long time for them to get a patch ready.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll have, like, we get 323 now. We'll have 4.0 in October, and then I think we might get like
a quality of
after that. No, there might be some like 4.0 point ones of like fixing some stuff, but that'll be
I
it.
also think there's going to be a lot of focus on a certain other game
Yeah,
for a few months after that.
yeah. I feel I'm look. I'm really hoping that we hear some stuff about Squadron at CitizenCon this year.
We better.
Like,
Could you imagine?
like a release date would be fun.
Let's not do 20 was it 2016
16?
over again.
No, thank you.
I think we will get a
Actually,
release date.
when is when Game Awards is December.
I do agree with you, David. I think that the release date's either going to be CitizenCon or Game Awards. I personally think it's going to be CitizenCon because I think they're going to feel that they owe it to the community for 12 years.
They do. Which they absolutely owe it to us. But I think I really hope that they're planning like a big presentation for the Game Awards.
Yep. Please. We should see Chris Roberts walk out on stage at the Game Awards and go, hey, with Mark Hamill by his side or some shit. It'd be great.
Yeah. I like that's the sort of stuff that I think we would get, and I think that would seal a lot of the conversation.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah. Any more thoughts?
Honestly, not really. My brain is pretty much running on steam. Tip, I genuinely think we're gonna get Squadron next year. Based on everything they've said, they were feature complete last year. A year of polish and
do you think they're going to announce content complete?
I think I don't know. I don't know.
That might be part of the announcement at CitizenCon. Is, we were feature complete last year, now we're content complete.
Yeah.
Now we're into the last polishing type of deal.
That'd be pretty good. And you know what? Like North End, you're right. It takes a couple months, half a year of marketing.
Yeah, they gotta get marketing.
If they start at CitizenCon
and then hit up the Game Awards, like it like 4 weeks later, something like that?
Yeah. And then, May or June for a release it in the quiet months before, like, around summer.
Cross fingers. We'll see.
Could be fun.
But as always, I really don't want them to release it until it's ready.
Yeah. Well, and that's
if they're like it's mostly done, but it needs more time in the hopper, that's fine by me. They only have one chance at a broader first impression for the gaming community.
It depends on when GTA 6 is going to get released. GTA 6 will probably be released like in line with the holiday season because it's
probably usually is.
So Star Citizen launching like 3 or 4 months before GTA 6 in the like June area would actually be, I think, a best case scenario. You get there before GTA, there's probably a bit of a... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's Squadron's a single player game,
Yeah.
Let's say it's like 50 or 60 hours long. Like most people will have that finished by December.
Yeah.
No, I don't want them to either. I don't want them to get smoked by some other huge game. That would really be a problem.
Yeah.
But they have flexibility. They don't have a publisher. They can do they can release it whenever the hell they feel like.
Though there is actually a really important consideration. Yeah, GTA 6 is not launching on PC. Star Citizen
Oh,
is
yeah.
only launching on PC,
Yeah, Squadron's only going to be launching on PC, so
right?
that actually
So
it doesn't completely negate the problem because there's a lot of people who do play both things.
there
But
are, but it lessens the problem a little bit, right? Like it's
Yeah.
not a direct competition.
it's so fun. I can't believe they're doing it again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, our game
Again.
did best on PC, but we're not going to launch it first on PC because that would be
No.
silly.
Well, and it's so funny because like we all know the game is developed on a PC.
Yep.
And then they're like, "Oh, we can't launch it. It's so hard to launch on PC. I don't know what are we gonna do. It's impossible."
Yep. I'm sorry, you've definitely been playing it on a PC, like to test. 100%.
Yeah, of course you have. Of course you have. Plus, both of the major consoles now. I'm sorry, Switch fans, but no. Both of the major consoles now are both just PCs. Like they are
Yep.
indistinguishable from a PC now. So
Hey, we might get a Switch 2 next year.
yeah, cool. I don't know.
It might be equivalent to an Xbox 360.
Exactly. I'm not excited.
I'll
Call me when
probably still
Nintendo
get one.
releases their games for PC.
I'll probably still get one. You know why? Because
You like
Legend
the
of
Switch.
Zelda. North End. I don't. Have they said anything? I mean, I'm pretty sure Squadron's going to come to consoles after PC, but I don't think they've said anything on it yet.
They haven't said anything. I'm expecting it will probably, if they do mention it, it'll come as part of probably either the CitizenCon. This is presuming again that there is an announcement at CitizenCon, but I think they'll probably talk about it then, and I really think they will talk about it at Summer Games Fest, or not Summer Games Fest at the Game Awards. I mean,
I actually don't think they will. If it's not launching,
I do believe
together, like if it's launching PC first and not. Because, well, it's launching PC first. They're not
it's
launching
definitely
it.
launching PC first. Yeah.
So I don't think they'll mention consoles.
Oh, I think they will.
Yeah.
If they intend, I'll put it this way: if they have intentions of eventually launching on console, I think they will mention it as part of one of the announcements.
Okay.
hype generation, man.
Yeah.
Marketing.
And then the most interesting thing, when Squadron does actually launch, the most interesting thing is going to be, what are people going to say about it?
Oh,
how are people who have been railing against Star Citizen for,
no one will care if it's good.
I know. It's going to be, it only has the one chance. It has to be flawless on entry.
That's what I was saying. You can honestly, in my mind, delay it as long as you need to until it's like amazing.
Yeah.
If that's next May, fine. If it's a year after that, that's fine.
Because we're in. Like we've been in. Like
I think we've committed, David.
we're committed. We committed. So yeah, it can't fail.
That's funny.
No, but
Star Citizen's in deep trouble if Squadron fails.
Yeah,
which is a problem.
I actually don't think it is. I think they've got the funding to continue with Star Citizen, even if Squadron doesn't do as well as it needs to. But the other episodes of Squadron are definitely, like, if Squadron doesn't do well, the episodes won't.
I also think that part of their plan to fund Star Citizen is to sell a shit ton of copies of their single player games. If it flops, I think they're going to have to rethink their like money generation post launch.
Yeah.
And yeah, it would really suck because obviously they have several more single player games planned after the first one in this universe. So
That's why I do actually hope that I hope it does really well on PC. But then if they can launch
sell
it
as many
on
copies
consoles,
as possible on everything.
do it. Put it on everything that can run it.
I'm pretty
Honestly,
sure.
Put it on the Switch. The Switch can do
Streaming.
Yeah. Put it on everything.
It's gonna be so cool watching people play Squadron 42 in a Steam Deck.
Yep.
But yeah, or hell, you could probably play it on a phone these days. But yeah,
you know what? Actually, so on that, I do have a PS5, but I really don't like playing console games. I don't like sitting in a couch and playing on a TV. It just bothers me. So what I've been doing lately at night is I take my Steam Deck, I load up Chiaki for Deck, and I stream PS5 games from the basement to my Steam Deck upstairs, and I play them on my Steam Deck.
That's cool.
Lying in bed. And it's like flawless. And I love it.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. Well, we've sort of run out of steam. I'm tired.
Text. Yeah. Do you have anything interesting coming up the next week?
Me? No.
Yeah, me neither.
No. Oh no. North End, we covered that. We
did. We'll talk about it again if you want. Sony are a bunch of assholes and they just want to steal your data.
I think they actually completely fucked themselves by making the announcement on like a Friday and then not like everyone's gone. They can't.
They tried to bury it in the news cycle. The thing is, people play games on the weekend. They'll notice.
Yeah. Well, and now they don't they can't walk it back. Yes, Steam is issuing refunds. If you say that Sony retroactively changed the terms of the terms of agreement, then Steam has been issuing refunds. Because it should. And the thing is, some people are saying, well, it said originally that Sony, like a PlayStation account was needed, but Sony's own website used to say it's optional, and then they changed it after this announcement for it to be met. Sony's trying to get data harvesting money, and I think that's one of the more disgusting things that a company can do, and I fucking hate them. Yes, Arrowhead actually had some. It took them a bit. One, Arrowhead have apologized for a couple of their comments because they had some early comments of like.
Their community manager was going unhinged on people. It was pretty interesting.
Well, and it's interesting because the community manager came back out and said, "You know what? I fucked up. I actually didn't realize that it was against Sony's terms and conditions to create account in these countries. Like he thought it was like just make an account, right? Who cares?" Which isn't the greatest response, but like it is right that like the problem is that there's 96 countries that cannot legally play the game anymore.
Which is just bizarre. Why would you do that to your game? It's just well, we know why they would do it because they want to steal millions of players' data.
Yep.
But so that they can sell it and make more money.
Yep. But it's really funny because they created a game entirely based around the community organizing themselves to take on challenges, and they're surprised when the community has organized themselves to take on
Yep.
I
No,
really
that shit is just stupid.
I really, really hope that Sony backtracks on this and people reverse their reviews, because Arrowhead seemed to be a fantastic dev, and Helldivers 2 is genuinely a tremendously good game. It's the best live service game I've ever played. It's the closest video game to Starship Troopers that exists, closer even than the Starship Troopers game. It is it is very high up on my list for game of the year.
Yep. And it definitely won't win now.
Nope. I mean, I'm still going to play it. I've got a PSN account. I don't really care. But yeah.
I understand that. That's totally fine. It's the
it's that it's wrong.
It's wrong. There's a good chance that, and this is so unfair, but like there is a chance that Arrowhead dies because of this.
Yeah.
Which is just like
and it's interesting because a lot of people in the EU are pointing out that it might actually be against EU law to do this.
Probably is.
Yep.
They have the best consumer protection out there, so
they do. And like I just, it's one of those where, so Government of Canada had a really, really big screw up a decade ago called Phoenix that completely destroyed the lives of thousands and thousands of public servants by not paying them, me included. And no one in charge of that program or decision got fired.
Sure.
And my worry or my disgust is when this same thing happens. There's an executive somewhere at Sony that was like, hey, this is the most successful game we've ever had. We gotta take advantage of that and get all their data, and then kills one of the best games of the year, possibly kills the developer that made the game, and not a single damn thing is going to happen to that motherfucker.
No way. They got a whole bunch of people's data. They did exactly what they wanted to do.
Yeah. Anyway, I have to leave now. I've got to go pick up Mac from a birthday party. Yes, Sony published Helldivers 1 as well. It was a Sony exclusive until it launched on PC. But yeah. Tip, you're right. Fuck capitalism. But
thank you everybody for watching.
Thank you. Come back next week. We'll be doing the same thing we do every week, trying to take over the world. Love you all, and stay safe. Bye-bye.